En este video, que es sumamente informativo, bueno, personalmente aprendí algo más de los detalles que no se mencionan al tomar la decisión de transicionar. Escucharemos hablar sobre el informe CAS, que en resumen es un informe científico que demuestra lo inseguro que es transicionar a menores de 18 años. En él, asimismo, veremos a este hombre que antes era uno de los conocidos Ken humanos y que luego decidió ser una Barbie humana. Él intentará defender la mencionada práctica. Mira el video completo y dime qué opinas.
So joining me now is television personality Jessica Alves. Also transgender teacher and journalist Debbie Hayton, and GP and medical writer Dr. Rennie Hundekamp. Right, so I thought I'd start with the CAS report. I'm going to start with you, Debbie Hayton. Your thoughts, the CAS report, which came out and said, actually, you know, people are exploiting the loophole that exists that enables private clinics to continue to prescribe hormones and so on and so forth.
Well, I welcome the CAS report. It's been a long time coming. We now have an independent clinician, an expert in her field, actually saying what people have known all along, that this has been an uncontrolled and dangerous experiment on children. And the burden of proof has to move from people having to prove that it's dangerous to others having to prove that it's safe. It isn't safe and things need to change.
Now, do you think that children should be allowed to transition or go through some level of social transitioning before they're 18, say at school or whatever?
Well, I think it's what you mean by social transition.
Pronouns.
Should people be constrained to sexist gender norms? I don't think that. But at the same point, we shouldn't be pretending to children that they are really the other sex, because that's what's been going on. Children have been told that they're really the opposite sex, and they're not.
Jessica Alves, what is your thoughts?
I agree that the CAS report is very accurate. The NHS has been failing treating transgender people for a long time. America, Brazil, Germany, they're well ahead of us. I'm a strong believer that hormone therapy is very effective, that is necessary to anyone who is transitioning, either from male to female and vice versa. The system failed at providing psychological assessment to those kids prior giving the hormonal treatment. I'm 40 years old. I started my transition 6 years ago in secret, taking hormones. But I wish that I started earlier because I don't have any shadow of doubt that in my mind, in my soul, in my body, I have always been a woman.
Dr. Renee, they're saying that a lot of the treatments, though, and the hormone therapies are experimental, and actually there's no real proof that they do. Well, they do affect your hormones, but there's no real proof that they're safe.
No, there's absolutely no real proof that they're safe. And actually what there is proof that actually they're damaging. So we know that if we leave a child to go through puberty, even when they are questioning their gender, up to 93% of them will actually settle with their own sex. Many of them will be gay, and they will get through it okay. And then we have a small proportion left to deal with as adults. What we do know is when we put them on puberty blockers, we take away that opportunity to work through whatever it is that's going on. Because the moment that a child goes on to puberty blockers, not only are they damaging their bones, their heart, their brain, they are also stopping that potential treatment of its own. And 95% of those kids on puberty blockers will go on to cross-sex hormones. So we're putting them on a train before they've had a chance to actually work through the angst of puberty. Puberty is an anxious time. So I know that Jessica says that she just knows it's good for people. The evidence doesn't say that. The evidence says that it's damaging. And that's why CAS has put the brakes on. And what I hope will happen is that doctors will now be less fearful for coming out and saying what's in their mind. Doctors have been watching this going on and are horrified. For the first time ever in a medical treatment, we have actually put aside the evidence and just treated people on feelings, and we've been harming them. Now we can say, well, no, hang on, I have some evidence.
Well, I want Jessica to respond, because you referred to something that Jessica said.
Yeah, I think that the medical system here have just been taking the words of the kids turning up into the office and just telling, hey, I'm actually a boy or a girl, and I'm unhappy with the gender assigned at birth. Doctor, do correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been taking hormones now for 6 years, and I am fully transitioned. If I don't take my hormones, I will get sick. So the hormones helps give gives me a better lifestyle, also makes me healthier. But then every 6 months, I also need to have a blood test.
Of course.
So I have been having a rigorous assessment, not only psychological, but also having blood tests, seeing my GP regularly to see how is my liver, how is the rest of the function of my body.
Yeah, I get that, and I accept. And I have no issue with that. You're an adult. You were 34
But we're talking about
when
kids
you started,
now.
but we were
Yeah,
talking about kids. The other issue we don't know, Jessica, and you don't know this either, nor does any doctor, is those hormones you're taking are designed to work on female cells in a body. You don't have any of those. You have male cells.
My chromosomes is something that I can't change. I change everything else, but the chromosomes
But the point is we don't know what flooding those cells with estrogen for many, many years is going to do later down the line in terms of cancer and other illnesses. And there is no way of knowing that until we're far down the line.
It's interesting because people like myself, transgender people, have existed for 200 years.
Yes.
And the people back in the... People back in the 50s and 40s, they would be taking hormones from the counter or stealing from their mums and sisters and take it without any doctor prescription.
Well, I've got to... Debbie, you're sort of pulling a face with that.
Yeah, the hormone therapy, it's experimental, it's uncontrolled. They really do not know what they're doing, Jessica. I'm warning you about that. They may tell you these things, but nobody really knows. And we're all on a uneasy level between trying to take enough hormone to stop our bones decaying, which is what would happen, and not too much, because there's cancer risk, there's risk with blood clotting, there's all sorts of risks that they're just not explained to you.
Are you taking hormones?
Yes, I am.
Well, I guess it's quite a personal question, but are you a fully transitioned person?
Yes.
Well, therefore, we must take the female hormones, so otherwise we don't live, we die, pretty much.
Well, no, but you could take male hormones.
Well, but I'm a woman. Why am I going to be taking
my
male
point
hormones
is, I know, but the point is, the reason you have to take hormones is obviously because you've had the sexual surgery, so you don't produce your own testosterone anymore. So there is an argument that you could take the natural hormone for your body that your body is used to using.
I think that we should stick to the conversation that we're talking about kids. We're adults here. So I'm 40 years old. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm really very happy. So going back to kids being treated under the NHS with medication without having a psychological appropriate assessment, that's absolutely wrong.
But
I totally agree with that.
Before the age of 18?
Because administrating...
Would you have them transitioning before the age of 18? That's because this is part of the review as well. It wasn't just the hormones. Would you allow...
With the support of my family, I suppose I would. But then a doctor telling me, Jessica, you should know that you may have some health issues later down the line. And then when you're ready to have your gender reassignment surgery, your genitals won't be fully developed to have the penile inversion. And that is what these kids should be told.
Yeah, but you know what? They're not listening,
They're not big enough or
they won't
mature
listen.
enough to understand.
I've been through this with somebody going through it as a teenager, and they won't listen. And if you listen to some of the detransitioners, they will say to you, I would not have listened to anything you said because I was the truest trans person. Richie said this to me the other week, that existed. And 6 years later, he dramatically regretted that. Children are too young. Under 18, I would say under 25. After that, no problem at all.
La idea de que las personas deben tomar decisiones serias relacionadas con su vida, especialmente aquellas que son irreversibles a la edad de 25 años, se basa en varias razones psicológicas y neurocientíficas. El lóbulo prefrontal, la parte del cerebro responsable de funciones como la toma de decisiones, el control de impulsos y la planificación a largo plazo, no está completamente desarrollado sino hasta aproximadamente los 25 años. Antes de esta edad, las personas tienden a ser más impulsivas y menos capaces de considerar las consecuencias a largo plazo de sus decisiones. La corteza prefrontal es crucial para la capacidad de evaluar riesgos y beneficios, la empatía y la moralidad. A medida que esta área se desarrolla, las personas mejoran en la toma de decisiones decisiones complejas y en la consideración de diferentes perspectivas. A los 25 años, las personas han tenido más tiempo para adquirir experiencias diversas, lo que les permite tomar decisiones más informadas. Han tenido la oportunidad de experimentar diferentes aspectos de la vida, como la educación, el trabajo, las relaciones y la independencia. Con la madurez, las personas suelen lograr una mayor estabilidad emocional, lo que les permite tomar decisiones menos impulsivas y más consideradas. Han aprendido a manejar mejor el estrés y las emociones, lo cual es crucial para tomar decisiones serias. A los 25 años, las personas son menos susceptibles a las presiones sociales y de los pares que pueden influir en la toma de decisiones durante la adolescencia y principios de la adultez. A medida que las personas envejecen, tienden a tener un mejor entendimiento de sí mismas, de sus valores y de lo que realmente quieren en la vida, lo que les permite tomar decisiones que son más congruentes con sus verdaderos deseos y objetivos. Tomar decisiones importantes e irreversibles a una edad en la que el cerebro y las habilidades de toma de decisiones están más desarrollados puede llevar a resultados más positivos y satisfactorios. La madurez emocional, la experiencia acumulada y la estabilidad financiera y social que suelen alcanzarse alrededor de los 25 años permiten una toma de decisiones más reflexiva y menos impulsiva. Y aquí culmina este video. Si te gustó, dale like, comenta el video y compártelo. Asimismo, si te gusta este tipo de contenido y lo consideras de valor, te agradecería muchísimo que te suscribieras al canal. Gracias, hasta luego.